Boom. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Wednesday to you all, and welcome to another live beer review. So today, we're going to be taking a look at another beer from Listermann Brewing Company. They're out of Cincinnati, Ohio. And for the most part, I've only really had a lot of their stouts, to be honest. They've had a couple different imperial stouts that I've had and tried, and then definitely there have been some hit and miss ones, but there's definitely been some good ones as well. But I think I've had maybe one or two IPAs from Listermann. I don't remember, I guess, because I drink a lot of beer, so trying to keep track of what specific styles I drink from a specific brewery is a little difficult. But today, I know in the title it says it's a Samuel L. Jackson inspired one. I said that because the title of this beer is way too long to type out and it won't let me put it in the title screen. So the name of this beer is I've had it with these motherfucking IPAs at this motherfucking brewery. And it's a 5.5% IPA. And it's brewed with Vic Secret, Mosaic, and Simcoe hops, which there's a lot of great flavors that come with these three hops. Of course, Vic Secret and Simcoe bring a lot of different, like, almost berry kind, I want to say definitely tropical fruit, a lot of passion fruit flavors coming from those ones, and then you're going to get like pine, citrus coming through, and then the Mosaic is definitely going to bring more tropical fruit flavors in here as well. So I'm pretty damn excited, just because I love this can art, just because they mash together three movies that Samuel L. Jackson is well known for when it comes to Pulp Fiction, Snakes on a Plane, and Star Wars, and put them all into one can art, and it just looks outrageously awesome. I just think this stuff is pretty badass. So I'm excited about this one. I'm kind of curious to see what they've kind of done to make a nice kind of sessionable IPA enjoyable and all that kind of stuff. So without further ado, I think it's time for us to crack this thing open and see what we get on the nose. So let's see what we get on the nose with this guy. Definitely getting a lot of that, like, almost tropical fruit coming through. Definitely more of like a passion fruit kind of note, because a lot of those, the two of the hops in there are definitely passion fruit forward when it comes to some of the flavors that gives off. Plus, you never know if they use puree in it or anything like that, because sometimes when you're trying to create like a nice juicy IPA or something like that, you can add puree in there just to kind of help make a little bit of a haziness, along with just kind of bringing in that nice kind of fruitier flavor forward in it. But yeah, it smells a little bit lighter. Definitely not really getting a booziness on the nose from this one. But yeah, it smells delicious. So, of course, today I would be drinking it out of my beaded and battered freaking Grim Army pint glass. Just that thing's has some use to it, just because I don't know if, like, because I hand wash all my glasses, so when it comes to this kind of getting torn up a little bit, kind of sucks, but oh well, just means I use the glass a lot. So let's pour this guy and see what this thing's like. I'm expecting a nice little haze. I would say probably like a lighter yellow, almost like a golden kind of color, which is exactly what we're getting. Nice, a little bit of head coming from the top, but not too much. A little pillowy, soft head. I'm assuming they want to make this like a nice juicy IPA, so I'm not really expecting like an oily mouthfeel. I'm expecting to be juicy. I'm definitely getting like a pillowy, soft mouthfeel, hopefully. But yeah, look at that. Nice little hazy IPA coming from this. Definitely getting a lot of those. A little bit of like pine and citrus coming through now in the nose. But yeah, it smells delicious. So without further ado, let's give this guy a try and see what this thing's all about. So, cheers everybody. Happy Wednesday. Yeah, that's delicious. Absolutely delicious. Definitely very bright, very vibrant in flavor. Definitely has a lot going on in it when it comes to three hops, just because you get little notes of tropical fruit, you're getting the citrus, and then the pine comes in it right at the end, to where it kind of leaves us like almost like a dry bitterness at the end. But overall, on the front, it's definitely really juicy, has a really nice pillowy soft mouthfeel, and it's delicious, absolutely delicious. So I'm really, really enjoying this one so far, and it's a 5.5%. So when it comes to having more than one of these, I think this is a pretty solid beer to kind of have around the house, sticking in the fridge if you're looking for something nice and light and refreshing. This is definitely up there with one of the better kind of lower ABV IPAs that I've had. So let's look here at Untapped, and of course the similar beers that they're showing on this one, just in case if you can't get your hands on this one from Listermann, is a little weird, just because I don't know if they're showing a bunch of like just overseas breweries, to where if they're in Europe where I can't pronounce the name of the brewery, or I think they may have added some like home brewers and all that kind of stuff, which is weird. But if you're looking to find and get your hands on anything from Listermann, looks like they're showing right here as a verified location in Cincinnati, Ohio, called the Red Bank Fine Wine. and Spirits, which is on Bank Road in Cincinnati, Ohio, which I guess they definitely carry Listermann. I'm assuming Listermann's pretty popular within the city of Cincinnati. Of course, with Listermann, you can go to the brewery and try it if you can get your hands on the stuff over there. Actually, let's see if this is on tap right now. Let's see. Let's see here. Draft. Let's see. Let's see. Sours, hoppy. Doesn't look like this one is on tap over here, but let's see if I can find anything where it's to go. It doesn't look like it's showing on there, but definitely have some different availability when it comes to like IPAs and all that stuff. You got one called Mr. Orange here, which is a 5.6% IPA that if you can't get your hands on that one, you might be able to try out with that one, but that's definitely going to be more of a citrusy forward. You're definitely not going to get a lot of those like passion fruit, tropical fruit flavors coming through with this one. You may, I don't know, maybe this Brass Monkey Junkie may be close, but that's still going to be pretty citrus forward. So yeah, they have a couple different varieties over there right now. Of course, they usually have, whenever you go to a brewery, if they have distribution, they usually have cans to go and all that kind of stuff. But the cool thing also about Listermann is they also have the brewery, but they also have like a brewery supply kind of store, which is like a homebrew store that they have inside of the brewery itself. So where if you go on their website, you can actually look at recipes that they have on there to where you can kind of look at the recipe and maybe change up some stuff that you want to try, or you can just go off the recipe by itself and be able to brew some of Listermann's beers yourself at home if you kind of stick with the recipe. But overall, yeah, this beer is absolutely fantastic. Looking for something similar to this one, I would definitely recommend, there's a bunch of stuff where it comes to lighter and like juicier IPAs out there. There's definitely a lot of variety out there when it comes to that. So I would recommend is going to a local liquor store or bottle shop. Of course, a lot of the times when you're looking at it for a beer that's trying to be similar to something, you always want to stick with a beer within the same hops at least, trying to, you're going to get similar flavors from that. But overall, with these three hops, having a nice kind of sessionable, juicy IPA, it's definitely not hard to find one of those out there. I know you can easily find some from like some of the more popular breweries out there, like New Belgium and all that. They definitely make, of course, Goose Island's out there. A bunch of breweries make some pretty low ABV, sessionable, juicy IPAs out there, and this is exactly what I kind of expect when it comes to this kind of lower ABV style of IPA. So overall, this stuff is absolutely delicious. So let's look here. Of course, the description is pretty self-explanatory. It says the same thing that's on the can. It's a New England IPA brewed with Vic's Secret, Mosaic, and Simcoe hops, and being at 5.5%, and with over 3,589 ratings on Untapped, this one has an average rating of 4.05 out of 5, which is pretty phenomenal for it only being a 5.5%. I think that's a really, really kind of letting people know that just because it's a lower ABV doesn't mean it lacks on flavor at all, and this is definitely not lacking on flavor. I'm checking here to see if anybody in my friends list check this one in. Of course, we got one person that, if I know I'm drinking this one, I know he has probably already done it. And we got my father here who checked this one in back in October, and he gave this a 3.75 out of 5 and showed the purchase off Tavor, which is how we got ours. But let's look back here on the global ratings and see what other people have to say. So this guy didn't give it a rating. He just had purchase off Tavor. Of course, that's how I got mine. You guys have heard me spiel about Tavor plenty of times already. This guy gave it a 4 out of 5, saying nice IPA. Another 4, saying I thought this was appropriate for St. Paddy's Day since he drove the snakes out of Ireland. Yeah, I guess that makes sense a little bit. Okay, so what else we got here? We got a 4 out of 5, purchase off Tavor. We got a 2.5 here. Let's see. We got a 4. We got a 4.5 purchased off Tavor. Let's see. What else? We got a 3.75. Wish I had a Royale with cheese to go with this one. Yeah, the funny thing about this person that said they wish they had a Royale with cheese, that there's a brewery out of Minnesota called Junkyard who actually makes an IPA called the Royale with cheese, and it's kind of Pulp Fiction themed and everything like that too. So let's look at like 3 more here. We got a 3.5, we got a 3.25, and then last one we're going to look at right here is a 4.25, saying, what a name, great beer. Yeah, the name is definitely one of the reasons that kind of drove me to purchase this one, just because how often are you going to kind of get a Snakes on the Plane reference when it comes to beer? And plus, even though the title's more Snakes on a Planey, it definitely has a mix of almost every single kind of very, very popular movie Samuel L. Jackson's been in. when it comes to Star Wars, Snakes on a Plane, and Pulp Fiction, and they just kind of mashed it into one. It's just outrageously cool. Plus, I always like the kind of style that Listermann does with their can art too, just because it almost has like a comic booky kind of theme, but also has like actually not comic book. It actually reminds me more of the stuff like the kind of comics you would see in newspapers and all that stuff. But this stuff is actually a color to it. I know a lot of times with like old newspapers, it was black and white and all that kind of stuff. But overall, yeah, this beer is absolutely delicious. I'm a really, really big fan of this one. So, with all that being said, let's start trying to figure out what we're going to be doing for ratings on this guy over here. So, let's see. Since we were already just talking about it, let's look at can art, because I know I'm already going to probably give this a high rating. And plus, the name is awesome, too. I don't know. I think that's just pretty damn awesome. I've had it with these motherfucking IPAs at this motherfucking brewery. So, kind of quoting Samuel L. Jackson from Snakes on a Plane on there. And then, like I said, the whole mashup of movies he's been in that he has really, really popular slogans in, kind of just pushes this thing forward when it comes to have that marketing appeal to where if you saw this in a liquor store or bottle shop, yeah, this would be instantly something that would catch my attention, just because Samuel L. Jackson in his Pulp Fiction outfit holding a lightsaber on a plane. Yes, please. I think that is some pretty cool stuff. So, with that being said, let's see. I think I'm going to give it a 4.75 out of 5 for can art for me. I really, really do enjoy it. Of course, I like more intricate stuff when it comes to having a little bit more detail in it, even though there's a lot of detail in that can art. I'm not going to give it my full 5 out of 5 just because you guys know by now the breweries that I really, really enjoy the can art from, like Adroit Theory, Anchorage, and all that kind of stuff. But overall, yeah, the can art in this one's fantastic. So, let's see here. If I got this beer in a flight at Listermann Brewing Company, would I get another one? Absolutely. This is definitely something I can go to and be like, okay, I'm not looking to kind of get sloshed a little bit. I just want to sit down and have a few beers and kind of still looking for that nice, juicy, hoppy, floral experience. This would probably be the first beer I go to if I went over to Listermann and get that, just because it hits all those marks of stuff I'm looking for when it comes to just being a little bit lighter, still really bright and vibrant and juicy, still have that piney bitterness in there, still having a lot of tropical fruit mixed with citrus. So overall, it hits every kind of aspect that I look for when it comes to this kind of IPA. So overall, Listermann did a fantastic job on this one. So with that being said, I think my final rating on this one, I'm going to give this a very, very solid 8.75 out of 10. Really, really good. If you can get your hands on this one, I would definitely recommend it for something just to keep in the fridge, having a lighter beer if you're working outside, or if Kentucky's working in the shed, he's looking for a nice kind of cold beer to get himself through the warm shed during the summer. This would definitely be what I would recommend for you to hunt down, my friend. Even with all of you, whoever is beer drinkers in the chat right now, if you're looking for like a nice, easy drinking, very, very bright, vibrant, flavorful IPA, this is definitely one of the first ones I would recommend for you. This is an absolutely delicious IPA. I'm a really, really big fan. So I would definitely, if I purchased it at a liquor store or bottle shop, I would definitely try to get a couple 4-packs of this just to keep at home and have that nice kind of easy drinking beer every once in a while, so that I know it's there. I don't need to kind of worry about, I don't want to drink a high ABV IPA after I've just been working outside or something. So yeah, Listermann did a fantastic job on this one. So they definitely kind of raised the bar of my expectations from their beers just with this one. And it shouldn't be as like complex and that good as some of the other stuff, just because when it comes to their stouts that they've made, a lot more complexity should be coming through, and then definitely the booziness. But I'm enjoying this more than I'd probably say 95% of the stouts that I've got from Listermann. So knowing that I can kind of rely on them with their IPAs now, yeah, I'm definitely going to start keeping an eye out for more IPAs from Listermann. I'm still going to keep an eye out for stouts from them, just because I enjoy the can art, like the bottle arts they do for their stouts and all the kind of stuff. And who knows, I might be able to find a stout from Listermann that's like a home run for me. But overall, yeah, Listermann did a fantastic job on this one. So other than that, yeah, I think that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. So a couple announcements today. Of course, before we get out of here, just to let you guys know, we're getting towards the end of the month here, and I want to remind you guys that I have a giveaway going on my Patreon. If you wanted to join, you can. I have a monthly 4-pack that I'm giving away to anybody in the States. Even if somebody joins from overseas, if you win, I'm more than willing to try to give it a shot to ship overseas when it comes to this kind of stuff. So if you want an opportunity to win a free 4-pack of Illinois exclusive craft beer, you can go over to my Patreon, join any tier you want. Of course, you can win a 4-pack that you'd probably get when it comes for like $25-$30 total with just like all the different beers in there for an easy $5 entry. It's simple, and plus I'm doing a lot of other cool stuff over there on my Patreon coming soon when it comes to having exclusive glassware, coasters, koozies, all that kind of stuff. And I'm working on possibly setting up a Discord that's craft beer related as well. So if you want to get access to all that stuff, if you want access to possibly win a free 4-pack of Illinois craft beer, I'm going to do a little promotional post on it again this afternoon on Instagram. So if you want to see what you have the opportunity to win, keep an eye out for that. Or you can just go over to my Patreon, pick a tier, and your chances of winning is better the higher tier you choose. So it's completely up to you what tier you want to join. But if you want a chance of getting a 4-pack from me, join the Patreon. That's all I can say. Other than that, of course, you guys hear me talk about Untapped all the time. I recommend anybody here who's a craft beer drinker and kind of is acquainted with social media to get yourself over to Untapped. I like to call it Facebook for beer drinkers. You can check in beers, get badges, all the kind of stuff. It's a really, really fun time over there. Plus, you could see what people like me, Kentucky, Ian, Face Meat, Duchess, Logan, Sean and Lizzie, the Typhons, are on there. There's a bunch of us within like the community that we've been around for so many years that are big craft beer drinkers, and it's just, yeah, it's delicious, and it's a delicious experience when it comes to seeing what people drink. And I kind of wish some of the beers that I've been able to find people drinking on like Untapped and all that kind of stuff, I'm wishing that some of those come my way eventually. So hopefully I'm going to keep an eye out for some distribution when it comes to some of these cool stuff that I'm seeing my friends check in. But other than that, that is pretty much what I got for you guys today. So again, thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are amazing. And I'm ending this like I always end it before we get the hell out of here. If you're going to drink responsibly, don't drink and drive, and I'll see y'all next time. Cheers.